This is a second video in a series of how to operate and use the service app in HVACproposals.com. So we're gonna go in through, and I'm gonna take you into showing you how to. We just showed you how to set up the defaults. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that video. Now I'm going to show you how the parts are set up. Okay. So when we look at the parts tab in the admin area, you can notice there are parts here. We click on parts tab, and you'll notice that there are a list of all kinds of parts in here. Our staff, once you sign up for the service app, will actually load approximately 350 to 380 different tasks that you can do in a service application. So let's look at this 2.5 to 3 ton compressor, and I'm going to click edit. And when I click edit, you're going to notice there is no description. So here's the name of the actual part, and you'll see here that there's a price for that part, which is $625. As we scroll down here, you're going to notice that there probably won't be a photo uploaded, and you'll also notice that there's a place for a category. If you use our category that we have assigned to the part, we actually have a description in the webmaster with a photo that will pull over. If you type something in here, it will actually override what we have in the webmaster for this particular part. If you will leave it blank and utilize our category, it will actually pull in the description and the image for that part that we have in the webmaster. You'll also notice that there's a place down here for time as primary and time as secondary. And the reason that is if you're doing a repair where you have a compressor and perhaps a contactor or a capacitor, the time that you need to be able to perform that repair when you're doing a compressor, you don't need a whole hour to do a capacitor, because while you're doing that 4 hours of the repair, there's some of that time actually that's kind of downtime for the technician that he will be able to, or she will be able to, do the repairs of those other parts and consider them to be secondary parts. So what a compressor will always be a primary part. Sometimes a capacitor, contactor, maybe something that would go, the evacuation might not be. You need the full time that you would have as primary. So you would actually make that be whatever that is. So let's go back and let's look at a contactor. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click save for that part, and that saved that part. So let's look at the parts tabs again. In the parts tab, anytime you see where it says name, I can type in something here and actually look up that part based on this is a search bar. So let's click on edit. Now you may or may not pay $12 for that part. Maybe you pay $8. That $12 part is going to be marked up 400, 500%. Don't worry about whether or not it's $2 or $3 off. The cost of that part to the customer will be $60, $70. So whether we are at right on, dead on what you're paying, really is immaterial to the cost that's in there. So when we come down, you'll see I've got the contactor listed because that's the category, and you'll see I've got 1 hour and I've got 0.25. So the formula is the cost of the part times the markup that you have in the default plus the number of hours that it says you're going to take to do the part times the hourly rate, and then obviously we're going to add in the diagnostic fee. So I click save, and now that's in there. If you needed to add a part, you just click over here to the right, add part. You'll notice here you can type in part for today's video, and I don't have to type a description. And again, if I'll scroll down a little bit, I can select a category, whatever the category is. We can add that. Let's do an outdoor circuit board. That picture of that board, as well as the description for that board, will appear on typed actually on the proposal or on the ticket. So I can put here 1.5 hours or 0.5 for secondary. And another example of that would be like you're doing a motor with maybe a capacitor. So the motor you need an hour, but that capacitor doing the motor you only need like 5 minutes. So you might put 0.05 or 0.25 for 15 minutes. So once you click save, then that will actually save into. You want to make sure you do each, and you also want to put a cost in there. So let's put $15. We click save, and it actually will save and attach whatever that is to the part. Okay. So that's the adding of parts. In the sales rep side or in the service tech side, a service tech can actually add a part. We've given them the ability to add parts because we don't know if they're working on the weekend, they need a special part maybe from Ace Hardware or something, and they pick it up. They're going to be able to add a part that they picked up because they can't get in touch with you. All they have to do is make sure they put the time to do the part, the cost of the part, as well as the category, and again, it will pull in any description that we have in there. Now, when you're setting up your sales reps, if you click on the sales rep tab, you'll notice that when we look at a sales rep, let's click on my name. You'll notice that we have the ability for you to lock out the sales rep from either install only, service only, or both, so that a service tech may not be able to have access to doing a proposal. And conversely, a installer may not have, or installation salesperson may not have access to doing a service ticket. So in that case, you would just assign whatever level of access you want them to have. All right, so let's create a ticket. Before we do that, let me go to a customer. And let me just pull up a customer, because one of the things that you want to make sure is when your salesperson is setting up, or when your service tech is setting up salespeople, or even in the office, we want to make sure that the customer has the determination of whether they're a maintenance customer or not. So you notice here where it says currently a maintenance plan customer, yes or no. That will, if it's yes, that will apply whatever the discount is from them being a maintenance customer to the service ticket itself. All right, that's setting up a service customer. So let's go create service ticket. And what's going to happen is it's going to open up a blank ticket. This is what a service tech would do. So let's go. He will just put whatever is there. All right, we're going to go. The customer had no AC. Found they had a bad compressor. And I want the technician putting as very little as they can here, or little as they have to. So recommendations: replace compressor and contactor. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and we're going to go add primary part. So we know that a compressor is a primary part. So we want the technician to say add primary part. It's going to open up with a dialog box. They just need to type in something that they know. So we're going to type in compressor. They could hit enter, and you'll see here it is. So we'll go 3.5 to 4 ton compressor, add part, and it adds it. Now the technician does not see the cost of that part. Okay, we're going to go add secondary part. Then maybe we need a contactor. We just type in what we know, and then it'll pull it up. Here you go, add part. Let's add another one. Let's add an evacuation. So I'm going to type in VAC. So there's 1.5 to 3 ton, 3.5 to 5 ton add part, and there it is. Now I'm going to come down. I'm going to reveal my refrigerant, and let's say we need 8 pounds of refrigerant. We're going to hide that, and we're simply just going to come down and go, there's my diagnostic fee. We're going to click save. Oh, I got to select the customer. So select customer, and click save. So the program, if you leave something out, the program will let you know that you needed to go back and do something. So we click save, and now there's my service ticket. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want the technician to click on this hard copy to show the customer what we found. So again, your logo as your company goes here. Here's the technician with the service ticket we did, the customer's name. Mr. Homeowner, we found you had no AC. We think you have a bad compressor, and we also recommend replacing the compressor and the contactor. If you remember, this image and this right here was not in the library of your program. We actually pulled this over from the webmaster. Here's the cost of the repair. Here's the discount, and you'll notice that it says this special discount is due to you being a maintenance customer. If I weren't a maintenance customer, it would say if you were a maintenance customer, you would qualify for these discounts. So in this case, what it says is total amount of invoice if all options are selected, including discounts and applicable diagnostic fee, is $2167.46. Okay, so if the customer approves that, we can go in and do the repair. But let's go back to our service value. So you remember in the defaults we talked about, you'll notice all the things that aren't on there. So let's go 2.1 indoor fan amperage, 2.1 indoor fan voltage, 230. So you can fill out as much as you want here. We don't know the compressor amperage yet because we have a bad compressor. But let's say that after we've done the repair, it's 16.1, 230 volt. Whatever I put here, if I don't put anything in these, they won't actually appear on the actual service ticket itself. So let's hide that. So now let's go ahead and close this out as though we have actually made the repair. So we're going to go pending, approved. We're going to choose a date, and I'm simply going to type in here in the resolutions, made all repairs via customer approval. I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and I'm going to click Save. And it's going to convert that discovery now to an invoice that I can print and actually hand to the customer. And whatever the status of the repair is, if it's either in approved or pending, whatever they print from here at the hard copy level will actually give to the customer what it is they can see. So you'll notice here, this is now the invoice. Made all repairs via customer approval. You'll notice also that the images are gone. All of the descriptions of the equipment, we don't want them having anything more than they need. But it lists out here by their invoice what the total is. So secondary repairs were $500. The primary repair was $1,625. We have $320 in refrigerant. You scroll to the bottom, and you'll notice here that our repair would have been $24.45. We took off $366.79 for their total of $20.78, plus the diagnostic fee is $21.67. If we look back at our service discovery, you'll notice that it's the same exact number. We just here now have listed it out and showed them what the repair cost would have been. All right, so that's actually how you go through a service ticket. If the customer actually said, you know what, that unit was under warranty, if you click warranty here and then click save, it actually will remove the cost of the parts and it will show only for labor only. Okay, and that's how you do that.